Hello my friends, and welcome to another video showcasing images shot on the Olympus Stylus Epic, the Olympus Mu 2 and Kodak ColorPlus 200. Of course, this series of photos is for the Frugal film project. I'm shooting a roll of ColorPlus through the Stylus Epic every month this year. Now this set of photos was taken pretty much around my home base here on the Bayside of Brisbane, and also some of the eastern suburbs of Brisbane near where I used to grow up. So let's get into the images right now. So the first couple of images were taken in Cleveland. I was out for a walk one day, I had ColorPlus in my Stylus Epic, and I also had Amalia 100D, which is a beautiful black and white film from Cinemots in my Contax T3. Now of course you can see images, similar images from that walk in my video Amalia 100D, stunning black and white film from Cinemots. But here we're looking at the color image, and here we have this image of some louvers, which are, little windows you used to open with a lever. And yeah, I really love this. We had louvers in my house growing up. So when I saw this, I had to take a photo because it reminded me of my childhood house. So yeah, really like that. Also on that building, you've got these fairy lights. And again, this is an image I shot with Amalia 100D. And I just really like, the pale blue here, and you've got the fairy lights hanging down with the shadows. Really cool, like that one. The next one is just a couple of houses down, and it's just this beautiful kind of iron lattice, which is, this kind of iron sort of frills, or what do you call them, decorations around the veranda here. Really love that. It's very, very Queensland. The next one was taken in Beenleigh. I was there with my son one day. I actually went to see if there was a camera in a charity store that was listed. Unfortunately, they sold it before I got there. It was a Lomo apparat. It was like $50 or something, which is quite cheap. But unfortunately they sold it, so we just went and had a look around Beenleigh, and yeah, it was a little bit scary taking photos around Beenleigh because it's a bit of a, don't mean to cast aspersions, it's a little bit of a rough neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? But I did find this house here. It looks like an abandoned house, and yeah, a lot of rubbish in the front garden, and yeah, this is kind of cool. I like taking photos like this, so I took this image here, and I really like that one. The next set of images are in Coorparoo. Yeah, this is my old stomping ground, and there was a whole series of images from Coorparoo in the Amalia 100D video as well. This one here is a hills hoist. Love hills hoists, and I'll be soon doing a video just about this, one of my photographic muses, hills hoists. The first thing I've got to do though is go back through Lightroom and find all the images of hills hoists. There's probably a couple hundred. It's going to take me ages, but I am looking forward to doing that. So that is coming very soon. And the next image here is across the road, and there's this pale blue car, vintage car in someone's front yard. Really love this. Yeah, the framing, I probably should have moved to the right a tiny bit. I'm not sure, is the framing on the Stylus Epic, is it perfect? Is it exact? I'm not sure it is because it's not through the lens. But still, yeah, I think I did a fairly good job at framing that. And the next few images are just more buildings in Coorparoo. Really love these apartments and houses. A lot of them date from like the 70s, and they've got these, very dated bricks, but I really love walking around and looking at them. Reminds me once again of my childhood. And yeah, I've got this sort of apartment building here. Really like this. Got the nice sort of bush there with the pink flowers. Really like that one. The next one is, the only reason I took this is for the hills hoist. The garbage bins aren't looking particularly exciting, are they? But yeah, they've got a nice little hills hoist perched in the back garden there of this block of flats, and there's a bike there as well. It's actually quite bright parts of this frame, so it's interesting. It was a very bright day using 200 speed film. So obviously, I'm not sure what the maximum or the minimum aperture of the Stylus Epic is. Is it f16, something like that? But obviously here, the combination of aperture and shutter speed, yeah, it was a little bit bright for that. So that's how bright it gets here in Queensland. The next image, I really love this one. This is Macaulay Lodge. This is, this would have been some premier kind of, apartment building back in the 60s or 70s probably. And it's still very, very handsome. It's just, quite dated and quite old, but I really do like this. This looks fantastic. And the next one is just further down the street, and you have these, twin garage here, double garage. And yeah, they have got these stripes, perfect, grass stripes with that concrete. Really like this. I actually took this on, what did I take it on? The G1 maybe, or another camera. And yeah, with maybe a slightly, more longer focal length. So it sort of zoomed in a bit more, and it just looks even better than this. I think it was my TVS actually, now I think about it. The next one is just looking down at like, a little wall in someone's front yard there, and these beautiful flowers. Really love this, the colors and that lens, the ColorPlus goes really well with the Stylus Epic, so I do like that one. Another very traditional building here in Coorparoo. You know, you've got the house up on the stumps there, and underneath the house is those, you know, white palings, and you've got the stairs up to the house itself, and you've got those beautiful windows with the glass there. Yeah, we had windows like that in my house when I was a kid. So yeah, walking around Coorparoo, I used to live near Coorparoo, so walking around this neighborhood, yeah, it really reminds me of my childhood and when we used to go over people's places as a kid and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always good for the soul to revisit old stomping grounds. The next one is in Cleveland. I was waiting for my wife to do a blood test, and I just looked up, and in a fairly sort of nondescript building, and there was just this kind of, you know, light coming through the window here, and I liked that, so I took that picture. I think that looks fabulous. If you're enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and also if you join my regular photography newsletter, mattlovescameras.substack.com. There's lots of stuff on there about travel photography and also using compact cameras, both film and digital. The next few I took at Eat Street, which is on Brisbane's North Shore. My daughter had a 16th birthday party during the day, and then she said in the evening, Dad, me and a couple of friends go to Eat Street, which is about 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back. So I said, yes, sure, of course, darling, whatever you want. I was pretty tired actually, so I needed a couple of coffees before we went for the trip. But I took them to Eat Street, and they just went off and did their own thing, and I walked around and took photos, so it was quite good. So this image here is one of the little stages here where there was a couple of people playing music. Very good. Music's fantastic, by the way. It cost about, I think it cost $6 to get in, and you know, there's 2 or 3 different kind of performers. There's a big sort of band doing classic rock. There's a smaller duo here singing, and then down at the front there was like a DJ doing dance stuff. So yeah, really good value to, you know, get some food and sit around and listen to the music. It's a really nice night out. So this is one of the places here just before it got dark. And this is on the Brisbane River just before it got dark. And yeah, the perspective here, you know, this is a 35mm lens, so it could have done with perhaps a lens, you know, to zoom in a bit here. But this is, you know, Brisbane City in the distance here, a few kilometres away, and you've just got the Brisbane River, and you've got these beautiful pink clouds in the horizon there, which looks really nice. Here is a close-up of one of the signs. What do you call them? Neon signs. Couldn't think of the word. So this one just says Eat because it's Eat Street. So I took that photo there, like that one. And I was talking about louvers before, and I talked about louvers in my Amalia 100D video. This is an image of Brisbane on the river through some louvers. How cool is that? You know, there's these little windows here with little panes of glass that you can, you know, use a lever to put up and down. Really like that one. And then the next set of images are from Cleveland, near where I live now. And I was out for a walk one day, and yeah, I saw these birds. These are rainbow lorikeets. And they're only about, as you can see here, you know, they're only a couple of meters away. So I was quite surprised that they didn't fly off. I think there was some seed or something on the ground they were getting stuck into. I absolutely love birds. I love rainbow lorikeets. I love corellas. I love cockatoos. I love galahs. And so when I see one on a walk, yeah, it just makes me happy. The birds make me happy. What can I say? This is just an early morning look at one of the creeks. Can't even remember what creek this is, but this is in Cleveland, and you've got the nice reflection there in the water and the nice sort of early morning light. Really like that. Then I went around the corner to this church where they do beautiful Christmas lights. And yeah, these are very typical kind of 60s, 70s buildings in Australia. You know, this brick, this color brick, and the kind of boxy buildings they used to make here in Australia. You can find these kind of buildings everywhere in Queensland. And so that's like a church hall or something like that. This, however, is one of the church buildings, which looks like it's probably from, I don't know, 1900, 1920, something like that. But I really like that. And that's a really clean shot, you know, with the blue sky and you know, the apricot and peachy colors of the building and the green there in the foreground. I really like that image. And this image here, this is right next to that building. There's a tennis court there. Tennis courts, tennis used to be massive in Australia. You know, tennis was, I remember my parents going to social tennis events. You know, tennis was the big game in the 70s and early 80s. Everyone used to play, and we had, you know, Australia was probably the best tennis nation in the world until the 80s, you know, when everything sort of went downhill. But yeah, tennis courts are everywhere in Australia. And I often say to my wife, you know, when I'm retired, I'm going to take up tennis and just, you know, get some tennis lessons and just chill. And so I took this image here of these retired people playing, I'm guessing they're retired, playing tennis because, you know, one day that's going to be me friends, maybe in about 15 years. Around the corner here is an image, one of my favorite cars. It's not the best image I've ever taken of this car, far from it. I took much better images on the Amalia 100D roll, and I've also taken much better images on the Cine Steel 400D before. But this is like an old Datsun here. I love this Datsun. I just wanted to take a different view of the car instead of taking the same one all the time. The only thing that sort of spoils it for me is that white pole there at the top of the image. I could Photoshop that out, you know, no one would know, would they? But yeah, I can't be bothered. The next few shots were taken at Wynnum on Mother's Day. Was it Mother's Day? Yeah, it was Mother's Day. We went down to Wynnum and yeah, we just went for a walk around, which was very nice. It was beautiful and sunny. And this is actually, I really like walking behind the buildings in Wynnum because you can sort of walk down these alleyways and these crusty like car parks and stuff. And I just took this image here. I really like the light here. I took it on a few different cameras and I didn't actually realize what this building was. It's actually a toilet. But you know, this is probably a really nice image of a toilet that you're ever going to see. And the next one is down on the Esplanade and it is an ice cream truck. And of course, I love ice cream trucks. I never really got a perfect image of this truck before. I've seen it quite a few times and sometimes the light isn't right. Other times there are too many people, there are too many cars. This is probably the best shot I've ever had of it, you know, trying to get it in isolation there. Back in the center of Wynnum, you've got this boot and shoes repair place, which I've shot before. I think it was on 400D push 2 stops, but this is a daytime shot. Again, you can see how bright it is here. It's like, you know, the bottom left of the image is completely almost blown out. So the Stylus Epic's trying its hardest here not to blow the image out, but it's a bit of a struggle with 200 speed film and the Queensland sunshine. This is a close-up of one of the windows at a shop in Wynnum. I have no idea what these little knickknacks are, but I just thought it was cool, so I took a photo of that. And the final image is one of my photographic muses. Yes, you probably know about hills hoists already. I love taking photos of hills hoists. Well, I also love taking photos of this building. This is an old tyre place. And I think it was called Graham's Discount Tyres. It's that kind of Wakerley, Gumdale sort of area if you're in southeast Queensland. And yeah, I probably shot this on 50 different cameras. Well, maybe not 50, maybe like 35 different cameras, something like that. I've shot this so many times. I've got jacarandas in the background. I've shot it at night. I've shot it during the day. I've shot it when it's had different parts of the sign up, the sign falling down, junk in the way, junk not in the way. Yeah, I've taken this image so many times, and certainly when I'm trying to finish a roll and I'm driving past, I'm like, I've got to take a picture of this place again. One day soon, I'm guessing that it's going to be demolished and some new development will go up there. So yeah, I try and take an image whenever I can. And yeah, I'll probably do a video with all images of this place one day as well. So there you go. What did you think of the images I shot for April in my Olympus Stylus Epic on Kodak ColorPlus 200? I would love to know. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I've got a couple of special destinations lined up for this project later this year. So yeah, I'm hoping to take, you know, not just images of around my neighborhood, hoping to take a few sort of special holiday destinations on this film and camera combo too. So make sure you look out for that and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.